Good morning. Welcome to Dropping In with the Revolve staff. I'm Sam. I'm joined by our founder, Dr. Georgina Smith, Katie Sarati, and Ben Lewis, two of our fabulous therapists. And today we wanted to talk about self-care and our thoughts on that.
Yeah, I have a thought.
What's your thought?
Hear it. So it's a great theory. It's a great concept, right? Self-care, that we access all these tools to help regulate and take care of ourselves. The challenge I've been having with it is that I think it's been overused, diluted, and it's this presumption that someone has the access to be able to do it. And we're missing a fundamental part of connection and community. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but
go ahead, Ben.
I was gonna say, first of all, I'm just noticing the sweater I got going on here. I'm happy to be a part of the therapist sweater club. I don't know if anyone noticed that. The therapist cardigan. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it seems like
we planned it.
Coordinated this for self-care.
One thing that I've run into with clients, and at times for myself, of if we are to tell a client to engage in self-care, that it can be maybe a little bit like disowning or like a little bit like minimizing of their experience. And it also presumes, on top of what Georgina was talking about, that they're in a place where they want to feel better. So to presume that and say, why don't you just go do this thing that's going to make you feel better? I imagine that sometimes can feel like a little bit almost like shaming, or at times like
to clean your feelings up, kind of, right?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and handle that? And here's like a list of things that you can do, and there you go. And so that was a thought that I've had around it, and having gone through school, it was a topic in training therapists. So I've very much had some experience with that concept, and how kind of like frustrating, strangely, it can be. And I'm curious how that's landed for you too.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was having this talk with my mom about the idea of self-care, and she was like, that in my generation, when we were younger, that wasn't a thing. Like, it wasn't discussed or identified really, or talked about, or existed in the workplace. And because I was talking to her one day about how tough that is as an adult, to practice self-care, and then you have all these other obligations, responsibilities, relationships. And I was thinking about how a challenge I faced with it is that it doesn't always feel embedded in certain communities, or that it just exists like out in the world and is recognized. And so, like, to Ben's point, it's almost like I've gotten this feeling before, like, okay, there's something up with you and you need to go take care of that. And I think some of the suggestions that sometimes are given, yes, in theory, make sense. There's a reason why they're difficult to enact. They might be expensive. We might have no energy. We might have no time. So it can be really invalidating.
Yeah, a lot of expectations that are very individualistic.
Yeah.
And everything you're saying made me think of even another level of it, because I was thinking about it from, there's this element missing of community. Where are our villages anymore, right? Where are our villages? There's this assumption, go take care of yourself. But the other layer, which is, what's the secondary gain, the function of their symptoms that are maybe screaming the story and narrative of their trauma that they need to be seen, and going and being efficient in, okay, well, I can go to my yoga practice, or I can go hydrate, or I can go, all these things.
Breathing.
Box breathing, right? Good in their own right, and can be very regulating. The clients can get so frustrated with it because they're like, I don't even feel my own, bless you. Your own existence, it feels painful. And we're saying, go take care of your painful existence.
On your own.
On your own. Right. And sometimes it's like, how can we be present in a relational capacity? And I've wanted to do this, cultivate community. That's our sticker. To do that, right?
Because you do need community to do it, is what you're getting at.
Wounding is so often relational. It happens in relationships, and self-care misses the element that healing has to be in relationships as well.
And I think about a big piece of trauma for a lot of people, or, having trauma history, is there can be an element of self-abandonment that was reinforced, that the person should abandon themselves. And so that can also, people can come up against that too when they're having a hard time wanting to, or like, yeah, even wanting to take care of themselves or taking care of themselves, that's already kind of been embedded that's, there's shame around that. And so if we're talking about to address that shame, that's overwhelming. You're going to need a community to do that, right?
Yeah.
If you could have done that on your own already, you would have.
Yeah.
I think there's an important preposition here, and that is that we heal with a community, not for a community. I think what you were saying, Ben, too, is that who are we really doing the self-care for? Is it so that we can show up better for ourselves, for others? Is it both and? That's always something I love to talk about, is the both and. But healing within community, healing among community versus healing for, because it's for the welfare of everybody, including and most primarily ourselves, I think. If that makes sense. It's like this dichotomy between us being really individualistic and competitive and needing to take care of ourselves to stay competitive.
Yeah. And
But
maybe
at the same time,
sorry to interrupt.
oh no, you're good.
Yeah, perpetuating legacies. I
Yeah.
thought of legacy trauma.
Yeah.
We may be perpetuating these passed down core beliefs that are based in shame or based in, you know, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Well, what if there are no bootstraps?
So to keep our machine going, it's like, what about treating the machine? What if it takes the whole system
Yeah.
to heal one part of it?
Well, I love this. I could talk forever. To be continued. So we hope you go out and cultivate some community and find your connections and find those meaningful places that you can exist in a relational way with other people, and as is, right? Not when you're over some other place. So, well, thank you guys. Oh, and Sophie's saying hi. Oh, hi. Our program and admissions director, and River, but you can't see River right now. Here, I'll move the computer here. There. Say hi. She's our director of operations. All right.
Dropping in with
Thanks.
us.
Bye, guys.